All right, Bill, biggest
Yes.
story of the week.
Biggest story of the week, I would think, would be the polling that shows at this point in history, more people would vote for Trump than Biden if they ran tomorrow. That's a pretty big turnaround, don't you think?
Well, seeing that it's only been 8 months, yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, there's a spate of articles about how Democrats are panicking because they're not going to get their socialist agenda passed now. When a president starts to weaken, it's like anything else in the power circles. When opponents they sense weakness, then they become more aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
And so the people who don't like Biden, and there are a lot of them, are now saying, this guy's such a screw up. He's never going to come back. It's never going to get better. So let's bury him now. And so the people in the Democratic Party who are not real thrilled about being socialist, they now have an excuse not to pass this insane spending bill.
Yeah, what's weird is those people that don't like Joe Biden and are now like empowered to do stuff, doesn't seem like any of those people are Republicans. They're still just asleep. They're just.
You look, there is an anti-Biden movement in America, and it's fairly strong, even though you don't hear it on the corrupt corporate media. So they shut that down, with the exception of Fox and Newsmax and the right-wing networks. You don't have any regular networks anymore. Isn't that interesting?
Mm-hmm.
It's either left-wing or right-wing. You don't have any, well, hey, come over here and we'll, tell you what's happening in the fairest way possible. Oh, no. We can't do that. Come on. We have to take a side.
Right.
But the momentum, if you want to use a sports cliche, is on the side of the anti-Biden people. And even though the corporate media hates that, they hate it. What are they going to do? You got 15,000 foreign nationals under a bridge in Del Rio, Texas. I mean, that's a pretty compelling photograph to show. You've got Afghanistan. We all know what happened there, and it continues to unfold as a horror. And now, we have people paying $1.50 more a gallon at the gas and paying a lot more for food. So the corporate media, and believe me, there have been meetings about this. They're going, what do we do? What can we do? So that's the big story of the week. Now, I wrote a message of the day on BillO'Reilly.com today, and I am predicting that you will see horrible new attacks on Donald Trump very soon.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only way they can get the attention off the incompetence of Biden is to trump up something, pardon the pun, against the former president. And I expect to see it as early as next week.
Wow. That goes, I assume this is because of the new poll that came out that shows Trump would win 51-41. Independent voters would overwhelmingly choose the Republican by 20 points over Joe Biden. And Trump would win 52-39 against Harris.
Right. So Trump isn't dead. All right. And they got to kill him. And they'll try. I mean, you're going to see stuff emerge. Now, on the other side, the anti-Biden forces, they're latching on to Hunter again. So now Hunter is he's coming back.
But Hunter is
Hunter did that.
But we have to stop framing this as a Hunter Biden thing. This is not Hunter Biden. This is about Joe.
They're linking it to old Joe. They're linking it. Look, there was an article yesterday, and I don't know how true it is. I mean, it looked like a lot of speculation to me, that Joe Biden dodged hundreds of thousands of dollars in taxes by forming an S corporation. Now, nobody knows what an S corporation is. They don't know. But the headline was Joe Biden dodged taxes. He wants to tax everybody up to the eyebrows. So what we have in America now is this fierce propaganda war on both sides. And the corporate media, which is the most powerful entity in that propaganda war, they are desperate to keep Biden from going under. And that's why you're going to see in the next few weeks some pretty intense stuff.
Well, I think it's good that you will see the intense stuff. Hopefully on Biden. Do you think the Hunter Biden thing ever goes to the mainstream media? I mean, really?
Only if he's indicted. So, look, if Hunter Biden is indicted, and I can't see that at a federal level. I mean, Merrick Garland is not going to do that. He's the attorney general, of course. But, Hunter Biden did a lot of very shady things. There's no doubt he did. And now there's new emails on his computer that he gave some pawn shop operator. I mean, this guy is totally out of his mind, Hunter. Right? I mean, your computer, you walk into a computer store loaded with bad stuff and you give it to some guy who's chewing tobacco. I mean, is that what you're doing? And so there's something here where Hunter Biden could get into formal trouble. And once that happens, it's like the bridge in Del Rio. You can't hide that story. You can't bury the story. For 8 months, ABC, NBC, CBS buried the border story, wouldn't report it. Now they have to. And now there's a new element of color because of the Haitians. So who's down there? Al Sharpton.
Didn't go well.
Yeah. Did Al go down when there were Hondurans? No. Did he go down for the Nicaraguans or the El Salvador? No. But as soon as there's a Haitian, there's Al. And so now Biden's got cross currents of the Black Lives Matter, the Al Sharptons, because of the Haitians. Now they're turning on Biden a little bit. Now, this is even worse for the New York Times and the Washington Post. They don't know what to do now because people of color are turning on Biden. And it's from my perch, because I'm a big picture guy, unlike you, Beck. I'm a big picture guy. I'm seeing a total deterioration not only of the Biden presidency, but of the corrupt corporate media.
Well,
they don't know what the deuce to do.
73% of the American public in the latest poll I saw blamed the media for this debacle down on the border because they said that, I mean, they blamed Biden, but more of them also blamed the media because they said they never covered it until now. And if they would have covered it, we would have been forced to pay attention.
Good for the folks. We often talk about people not paying attention and being prisoners to their cell phones. But I think that after a while, when the situation becomes so irredeemable, and this applies to Afghanistan and to inflation, that even the dimmest among us, which would be probably Beverly Hills, Hollywood, they start to go, oh, well, maybe we're on the wrong track here. It's just good for the folks.
Let me ask you about the COVID mandate. A week ago, Biden came out and said his patience is running thin. He's going to be mandating these vaccines. And then nothing happened. Why?
Because he doesn't want to get into a Supreme Court fight. So Biden can mandate federal workers. They have to take the vax because they're employed, and Biden's in charge of the federal government. So he can do that, and he's not going to lose legally. But once he starts to tell Sally in Des Moines, Iowa, that she has to be vaccinated and so do her children, then Biden is into Supreme Court territory. And I think that the Democrats and the progressives and the people who run Biden know they have a better than even chance of losing. Because it's unlike smallpox and measles and things like that. The vaccines are not locked down. They will be as they get perfected, but not quite yet. And so the argument can be made that, look, you're forcing people to take a vaccine they don't want, and they're not really protected from COVID, and look at all the breakthrough and crossover cases. That's enough. So Biden knows that he can't mandate, and if he did, there would be rebellion like there is in Australia. You're keeping an eye. Australia is just like America, by the way, very similar. And there's riots. There's riots in the streets there now.
Right.
Because of what the Australian government's doing.
Well, the Biden administration, when he came out and said, I want mandates, the number of people that got vaccines actually has gone down pretty dramatically. He is.
You're in the zone now where the persuadables have been persuaded. So you've got 30 to 25% of Americans who you can't persuade them. They're not going to take the vaccine unless, draconian measures.
I don't think. I got news for you. I don't think so. I think that by him coming out and saying we're going to do a vax mandate, and my patients are running thin. It's that day that he said that the vaccine, the people getting vaccine, those numbers went down. I think. Yes, the harder he pushes, the more people go, there's something wrong here. This isn't right. What's happening?
You're absolutely right. That hardened the resistance and brought sympathy in some precincts to the anti-vax movement because they don't like Biden. I mean, conservative people don't like Biden. But the untold story here, and I'm writing a column partially about this on Sunday, again, BillO'Reilly.com is where I am, is that the African-American community is by far the most anti-vax community in the United States. You've seen that reported on NBC, ABC, or CBS lately?
No.
No. Black Lives Matter is actually screaming that New York City mandates are racist now. They're out. They're screaming it's racist. So Black Lives Matter has now allied with the anti-vax movement. It's believable, but it's true.